Come on in, everyone. Come on in, because my name is Deborah and we are here to do a Ready to Love recap review of the interview that Kojo on Little Black Book 91 channel YouTube station did with our old girl Maya. Y'all, I'm so happy. I'm so happy because on the interview, Maya revealed that she is dating Christopher from last year. And I love this match. I really love this match. I liked Christopher last year. Remember, there were two Chris's. There was a Chris and a Christopher. Chris was Chris from Nigeria. Chris, what do we call him? Naji. Chris Naji was from Nigeria. He was Chris. He was in the real estate development. And then we were calling him Country Christopher. Country Christopher was the wild card from last year. Very tall. I liked him a lot. He was from Mississippi, just like Maya is from Mississippi. So I'm loving this little Southern Mississippi connection. And then also they have a lot of things in common that I like. He's tall. He's handsome. I liked him last year, and I like him for Maya. I really like him for Maya. If y'all remember last year, there was a date that Country Christopher went on with Lee. Y'all remember Lee from last year? Because I reference that date all the time because that was one of the most hilarious dates, I believe, for me on Ready to Love. And it was Lee attempting to take Country Christopher out to fine dining and teach him about the levels of dating. But he liked Lee in the beginning. I think he liked the way Lee looked. I think he liked her physical presentation. But I think he quickly found out that her personality was not a good fit for his personality. Remember, Christopher was family oriented. He was in a family business with his family. So if you're in a family business, you definitely around your family. And so what we know about Maya is Maya has said that she's very family oriented. I like the fact that neither one of them have children. So Christopher didn't have any children. Maya doesn't have any children. They're both around the same age. They're both from the same area. We believe, this is what the streets are saying, that Country Christopher is friends with Justin. And Justin might have introduced Maya and Christopher together. Or who knows, maybe they met at some type of mixer for Ready to Love. I don't know how they met. But I'm happy they met. And, last year's past, y'all, I used to do this little thing where I would match make. So in the beginning, Ready to Love didn't go to the same city back to back. That just only started happening. Maybe someone can tell me when they start going to the same city back to back. But maybe in the last, 4 years, maybe, they go to a similar city close by. Like you had DC and you have Potomac. You had, like this year, we had Dallas last year. And then we had DFW or Fort Worth this year. Miami did 2 seasons of Miami. So typically I'll go back and say, hey, the love may not have been found on this season, but what about the people from the last season? So I'm happy that there's been a little bit of crossover. We see a lot of crossover couples. That's where we saw Sabrina and his name's not Will. What's his name? Sabrina and somebody. I forget his name already. They're engaged. They're getting married. So I think at the end of this video, I'm going to do a little matchmaking. We're going to take it a little bit step further and take a look at some of the people from last season. Because who knows, maybe we can make some more matches. Maybe we can make some more matches out here. But first, I want to talk about this interview that Kojo did with Maya on Little Black Book. And I liked it. I liked the interview. I liked learning more about Maya. Y'all know where I stood with Maya. Maya started off as my number one. I loved me some Maya. I like LaRon. I love me some Maya. I don't know where LaRon is right now. Somebody need to go do a wellness check on LaRon, because now that LaRon knows that Maya is dating a Country Christopher. And let me tell you, she's not just dating him. They are throwing around the L word. And I don't know how long it's been. It could have been that long because she just got a whole Valentine's gift for. She just got a whole Valentine's gift from LaRon, even though she says it was just friendship. She was just accepting a necklace from LaRon in February. So I really do hope that this new relationship with Christopher is after February, Maya. Don't tell Auntie Deborah that you are dating Christopher and you're throwing around the L word, but you are also accepting necklaces from LaRon. Please tell me, no, Maya. Please tell me that you became more serious with Christopher after Valentine's Day. I don't want to believe that you're just, last time I had a problem with Maya even accepting these gifts from LaRon, going out on these dates, having him spend money on her when she knew she was not interested in him. And you know what? I feel like I've been vindicated because Maya's come on here and she said, yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. I accepted gifts. I had people take me out. I did all this stuff. I knew LaRon wanted to be with me. I knew he was interested in me and I didn't care. I accepted the favors. I accepted the gifts and I got on her hard about that. And I still did not like that about Maya at all. But now that I'm understanding a little bit more where this is coming from, I'm really understanding where all of this is coming from with Maya and going forward with Maya, because typically, I'll give Maya some advice, some auntie advice about attracting the right type of man. But Maya's done all the work. She's attracted her man. She's got her man and they're in a relationship. And her man, they're throwing around the L word. Let me just say that. They throwing around the L word. They look good together. He came on camera. He's spending the night because when he came in, he had on his clothes. And then maybe about 15 minutes later, he came up to the camera. He had his shirt off because that means he's getting ready for bed. He getting ready for bed. And then another 15 minutes, he had his do-rag on. I was like, oh, he's sleeping over. He is sleeping over. So this ain't no stuff she doing with LaRon, going to a little baby concert, going to the lounge, having some drinks in the VIP booth. These are sleepovers. This is a real full-on relationship. And like I said, Maya was throwing around the L word and she's very, very happy. And so I'm happy for her. So now aunties and uncles, we need to help get Maya to the finish line. We need to get her to the finish line. She called her man. She's in a relationship with her man. She's throwing around the L word. I like the match. I can see the parts about Country Christopher that will go well with Maya. I see it all. But now we got to get Maya to the finish line. And so I'm going to have a little bit of auntie advice for Maya to get her to the finish line. The finish line for her is what she wants. So people don't be getting mad at me when I talk about the finish line. Everybody's finish line isn't married with kids. That's not everybody's finish line, but Maya has specifically told us that's her finish line. So I'm going to speak to her. I may not be speaking to other women who marriage and children and all that is not your finish line. I'm speaking to Maya. So don't nobody get upset with this. So here's my advice to Maya. Maya, one of the things Auntie Deborah has been telling you is that you giving gold digger vibes. Well, I got a little bit more information about Maya. And in this episode or in this interview with Maya, one thing I really honed in is that Maya's love language is gift giving. That is her love language. Y'all know the 5 languages of love, right? Let me pull them. 5 languages of love, just in case some people don't know them. Just in case some people don't really know the 5 languages of love. Okay. 5 languages of love: physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, gift giving, acts of service. These are the languages in which we receive love. This is how we receive love. This is how we feel warm and fuzzy. This is how we feel good. I don't know all of Maya's love languages because most people have more than one. But I'm going to say we know for sure that one of her love language is gift giving. And the reason why I know it is because this is what ties in to when I say gold digger vibes. Because when Maya wants to feel loved, when Maya wants to feel appreciated, when Maya wants to feel like a man is really taking care of her, it involves a lot of the time gift giving. Gift giving. That's what she likes. And so Maya explained to us in this interview that she likes a man to really pursue her and really chase her. Nothing's wrong with that. And the way that Maya, I think, really counts chasing you, or is part of that, is gift giving. Part of that is receiving gifts from people, monetary gifts, money. So I'm not just talking about quality time. See, quality time can be sitting on the couch watching TV. No, I believe that Maya's love language involves you actually also spending money on her. So the absence of the money doesn't mean as much to Maya. And the reason why I know that Maya really likes that is because she can't turn it down. See, one of the things I was talking about with LaRon was turn it down. But you ever have to turn down something you really, really love? You know what I'm saying? Imagine you trying to lose some weight and your favorite thing you like to eat are Lay's potato chips, and somebody comes along and offers you Lay's potato chips. Even though you know you shouldn't be eating them on your diet, you can't resist them. What's the saying say? You can't just eat one. You can't resist them because you love them so much. And when it comes to Maya and her love languages, which is, I believe one of them is definitely gift giving, she can't turn it down. So she doesn't want to give in return what the man maybe wants or what he expects from that gift giving, but she loves it so much she can't turn it down. She doesn't mind receiving it and then not feeling any obligation to give it back, to say no. She doesn't feel any remorse. She doesn't feel any guilt, because they spent some time talking about all the gifts and money items she was receiving from LaRon. And Maya said, I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that, because I think the situation is it's hard for Maya to turn it down. Maya doesn't want to necessarily give too much thought to how it may make the other person feel giving her gifts when she's accepting the gifts, but she's not really accepting the attention or the feelings that the man is really trying to get her. Because when a man is giving a woman a gift, he's not just giving her an object. His feelings, his emotions are wrapped in that gift. And so when he gives the woman the gift, he's also giving the woman his feelings. But what Maya likes to do is she likes to accept the gift without the feelings. You see, and that's not the same language. If I'm putting feelings in this gift and I give you the gift is symbolic of my feelings. So when you accept the gift from me, what I'm going to feel like you're taking or accepting is you're not just accepting the gift, you're also accepting my feelings, my emotions, how I feel about you. But what Maya is saying is, no, I can separate the two. I can take your gift and I can also say, yeah, you may have attached your feelings, but I don't want your feelings, but I do want the gift. That's a problem. That is a problem. It will really be a problem if she was still out here in the world dating a bunch of men. But now that Maya has told us she got a man, so she ain't out here no more, trying to lure a man in. She done lured a man in. The man has seen her. He likes what he sees, and he's ready to snap her up. And I believe this relationship can go the distance. I believe that this relationship can make it all the way to marriage. I do. I feel it in my gut, y'all. I feel like Christopher and Maya can make it to marriage. But here is where I want to talk about what I want Maya to be very, very careful of. I remember when Christopher went on the date with Lee. Remember, Lee is kind of like highfalutin, a little bit of bougie, a little bit of, we remember Lee. Everybody remember Lee. It's not to talk bad about Lee. It's just where Lee resides. Like she said, levels of dating. I believe that Christopher is more grounded. Does that mean that Christopher doesn't know how to fine dine? Does that mean Christopher doesn't know how to go to a lounge and party if he wants to and get down and dirty, which is some of the things we know Maya likes. Maya has constantly said she likes to go out. That's why she liked LaRon, because LaRon would go out to clubs and he would spend money and she could party, and Maya wants to twerk and Maya wants to do all these things. Honestly, I don't pick up those vibes from Country Christopher. I don't pick up from Country Christopher that he wants to be in the club. I don't pick up from Country Christopher that he wants to be out on the town all the time, spending a whole lot of money. So now you guys see where I'm going. If you got Maya, who likes spending a whole lot of time going out to the clubs, even though she said she's ready to tone that down, and you have Christopher, Country Christopher, who might be more of a person who likes to be at home, wants to build a family, maybe wants to do things more together, but not all that, high life kind of stuff. Maybe he's a little bit more modest, not because he doesn't have any money. It's just because it's not his personality. Like I said, when we saw him come over Maya's house, he was coming home, putting on his pajamas, putting on a do-rag. That might be his pace. So now we say, how will Maya bridge these two things? And this is what I'm going to say. Maya's going to have to learn how to receive love by more than just the gift giving. Because if Maya only concentrates on receiving love and feeling love by a man constantly spending money on her, taking her out to fancy dinners, like LaRon said she wanted to go to that fancy restaurant and he said it was too expensive, and top shelf liquor, then what's going to happen to Maya is she's going to be in a relationship with Country Christopher. And even if he loves her, she may not feel loved, because no man can keep up with the love language of gift giving all the time, Maya. Okay, because really your partner should be showing you every day that they love you. Love should be given every day. Love shouldn't just be given on birthdays, holidays, Valentine's Day. Love should be given every day in some form or fashion. So if your main way you receive love is gift giving, then what happens is you put a lot of pressure on your partner to constantly be buying you things, and people can't buy you gifts every single day. They really can't. They really can't even be buying you gifts every week. Some men, maybe they want to bring you flowers every week. Some men, long time ago, I had this boyfriend. He signed up for one of those where they send you flowers every single week automatically. Because you know what? Gift giving really isn't my love language, but it was his. He loved to give gifts, and I'm really not a gift giving receiver. But you know what? He signed up for one of these things, and for maybe about 3 months straight, I got a brand new bouquet of roses every single week. It was I loved the flowers, and it was what he enjoyed. But beside that, Maya, gift giving is one of the hardest things one to give all the time, because it actually involves a lot of money. And sometimes it becomes people can't afford to be buying you gifts every single week. And then what happens is, as I give you more gifts, I got to keep giving you more elaborate ones, because I can't keep giving you the other ones I gave you before. So what I want for Maya to have a sustainable relationship, okay, where she can go the distance, is she's got to develop a healthy appreciation for other parts of love languages. She's got to start rounding out her 5 love languages and giving that as much importance as the gift giving. Because right now, I believe she leans heavily to the gift giving, the money items, the material items, and she places that at the forefront of how she evaluates whether or not this man is going to be able to love her. So what happens is she also evaluates the man at the money level. That's what I started going to about the gold digger. Because she knows that her love language is receiving gifts, she also needs a man that's going to be able to afford to give her gifts. So therefore, when she's evaluating a man, she puts at the forefront, can this man afford to give me gifts? Because I know that's the way I want to be loved all the time. And I said, I think that she's overlooking over other characteristics of men that she should be looking at. And so she disregards red flags, because her main way she likes to be loved are gifts. And so the way she looks at getting what she wants is, you got to have money to give me the gifts. When really what Maya's really looking for is to be loved. See, she's looking to be loved, but because her love language is receiving gifts, she thinks she needs a man with a lot of money so he can buy the gifts so she can feel loved. So that's where we are with Maya. So I want Maya to really round out her love languages. She's got to learn how to appreciate and receive love from men in a variety of different ways. And also a reason why I know it's probably an issue, because when her ex came on, her ex honed in on the money issue with Maya. Her ex also said, Maya's going to keep you on your toes in that area, because Maya, she's hungry for it. Give me the gifts. Give me the gifts. It's the way I feel loved. It's the way I feel loved. And that puts a lot of pressure on the man to keep giving her gifts so she feels loved. But all these other ways he may be trying to love her, she doesn't value them as much. It's almost like I give 10 points for the gift, but this other way you love me, the quality time coming over with your do-rag and sitting and talking with me, I'm only going to give you 2 points. She needs to balance that out, because if she doesn't, she's gonna make the man in her life feel like he can never please her. And then she's also going to grow discontent and unhappy. It can cause problems, but that is something that she's going to need to do. And then Christopher is going to have to understand what her love languages are. And he is going to have to understand that he cannot starve her of gifts. She's going to need some gifts, but they're going to have to learn how to balance it out. They're going to have to learn to balance it out. Now, the way that I think Maya can get to, how did she get to this point where she loves the gift giving? She loves the gift giving. You know, I don't know completely, but one way I believe is through her storytelling of her childhood, the way she grew up with her mom. She said that her mom was she said she kind of felt like she kind of grew up with her mom. I don't know if her mom had her at a young age or not, but she said she didn't have a real relationship with her father. She knows her father. She talks to her father periodically, but they don't have a close relationships. And one of the things she says that, of course, a lot of women do who don't have a relationship with their father, is that she really wished she did have a close relationship with her father. She says she has girlfriends who are daddy's girls, and she wished that she were a daddy's girl. She wished that she had that relationship with her father. And this is where I believe it comes from. You see, a lot of times when we don't have something in our life, we imagine what that life would look like. We imagine, if I were close with my father and I were a daddy's girl, what would it look like? And because I missed out on that daddy's girl upbringing, now I want it for my life. So listen, let's say you didn't get it from your father. You weren't a daddy's girl. Your daddy didn't do the things for you that you saw other dads doing for girls. You grow up still wanting that. You grow up still wanting that. And so what happens is you then look for a partner to fulfill in you what your father didn't do. And so when I see Maya gravitating towards the gift giving, I think she's doing it because I think she thinks that's what daddy's girls receive from their fathers. Lots of gifts. And so I think what she thinks is, this is symbolic of being loved like a father would have loved me. Because when you think of people's image, when they go, oh, she's a daddy's girl, she's spoiled by her father, a lot of people automatically think about gift giving. They think about the father spoiled the daughter and gave the daughter everything she wanted. Tons of gifts. So now if I want to have that in my life as an adult life, I say, hey, I didn't get all those gifts from my daddy. So now I want to meet a man and get that from my man and make him my zaddy, right? Is that what the streets call him now? Your zaddy? Well, here's the problem. Here is the problem. I talk about daddy's girls. I was a daddy's girl. And I'm going to tell you something. You cannot love a man and have a relationship with a man the way I had a relationship with my father. I had to learn that. I had to learn to go from a daddy's girl to a wife. It's completely different, because when I was a daddy's girl, mostly the father is pouring into the daughter. He is pouring into the daughter. There's really not a whole lot that I have to do with my father, because one is he loves me inherently because I'm his daughter. One, he's my protector. He's my provider over me. One is I adore my father. But for the large portion, when you're a child, until you get older and you're really able to do more and pour into your father and give him more, initially, the person really pouring into your father is his woman, his wife, my mother, or when my parents eventually down the line, they got divorced when I was in high school. And later on, my father developed another relationship with, his second wife. That wife poured into my father. So I, as the daughter, am not always pouring into my father as a daddy's girl. I do, because you know why? You know the way I pour into my father, I make him proud. I feel I appreciate everything he's done for me. That's what daddies love about daughters. You're not necessarily giving that man something. One is, you're not even, like you said, like I said before, you're not having physical intimacy with your father. So all the things that man really needs, he's actually getting it from a wife or a girlfriend. You, as the daughter, you're just mainly sitting back, appreciative, saying kind words, loving words. You learn to affirm your father, right, in the way that he wants to be affirmed. That's how you learn those types of things when you have a father around. But initially, he is the one giving you these items. And I think what Maya tries to do is replicate this relationship in a relationship with her man. And it's not the same. Like, I don't go over to my husband and tell my husband, now I want you to love me the way my father loved me, because no, I've got more responsibilities as the wife to my husband. I have to now do for my husband what those other women, my mother and eventually his second wife, did for my father. That now becomes my role. I can't just sit back and accept gifts but not return any of the love. You see, Maya was accepting gifts but not willing to return any type of emotion from that. She's got to learn to do that in her relationship. And I think what clouds it is her belief that daddy's girls, princesses out here in the world, that this is what they received as being a daddy's girl. And to be honest with you, Maya, to go even further is, I think not having it in your life, you also mistake what the world looked like. Because in the world of a daddy's girl, gift giving, the spoiled gift giving, is really not the experience of a lot of daddy's girls. I am a daddy's girl. I did not go through spoiled gift giving. A lot of what my daddy girl treatment were these other love languages. It was the words of affirmation. It was my father spending time with me, quality time. Okay. The acts of service, of course, is the father providing, protecting for you. It was the physical touch. It was the hugs, and it was the kisses. So when Maya is looking, so I go back to Maya, when she's now saying, hey, I love to receive gifts. If it is wrapped up, like I said, I don't know for sure, but if it's wrapped up into this fairy tale life that she has sort of deemed of what a daddy's girl looks like, what a princess looks like, and now she's trying to get that from her husband, she's got to understand that love languages from a daddy's girl, from a daddy to her daughter, were more than things. That may be what she saw. You see, when you see a daddy's girl and you don't know her life, you don't know her full life, you could believe that it was all based on gifts. Oh, look what her daddy gave her. Her daddy bought her a new car. Her daddy gave her some money. Her daddy paid for this. You could believe that being a daddy's girl is all based on money. And then when you grow up and you're looking for that, that becomes important to you. But the truth of the matter is, a daddy's girl is more than just money. It's all of these other things. And the reason why Maya really needs to see this is because when your love language is when your love language is gift giving, you're very susceptible to, one, being called a gold digger. Two, you're very susceptible to love bombing. Love bombing, because this is what men do. A lot of men say, I'm going to boom, 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 love bomb this woman with a whole lot of gifts when I know that's her love language. And even as Maya said on this Ready to Love interview with Little Black Book, she said, oh, I can grow into loving someone. So what Maya even said was, hey, if you just keep giving me the gifts, eventually I will grow into loving you. No, what are you talking about? That makes you susceptible to love bombing. That means that man knows that I can come in here, love bomb you with a bunch of gifts, and you will just keep accepting them. And then you will grow into love me, not because of any other parts of me, but just because I love bomb you. And now what that man has done is now that man feels he has leverage over you and he can control you. And this is what we've seen happen to Maya, that men have love bombed her, showered her with gifts and money and material things. And then what they do is they feel that they own her. And then that ownership becomes controlling. A lot of people who love bomb are narcissists and controlling. If you look it up, a lot of people, narcissists and controlling people, oftentimes use the technique of love bombing. And what they do is they love bomb you to get control of you. And then that's when more of the narcissism and the controlling parts to come out. So when Maya uses as her love language, gift giving, gift receiving, she is setting herself up to attract a lot of narcissists and controlling men who will love bomb her, So that's why I'm happy that now that Maya is in a relationship with this man, Country Christopher, which I like. I'm happy about it. I really want Maya to not look at Country Christopher as filling in the gap of what your daddy didn't do. Do not take what you missed in your childhood from your father and then say, I want to get all that from Country Christopher. You need to have a relationship with Country Christopher as a man and a woman, not as a father and a child. A man and a woman, not as a father and a child. And as a result of having a relationship as a man and a woman, you need to be a participant in the relationship. More so than maybe you were if you were a daddy's girl. You need to be more of a participant in the relationship. And you need to round out the way in which you receive love, not just from gift giving, but from all the other 4 elements, from physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service. You need to start giving those other 4 languages more of a prominent place in your life, because Country Christopher is going to need more than one way to show you love. He can't just show you love through gifts of service or monetary things. And don't conflate quality time with going to the club and spending money on you, because that still means a lot of whole money. You need a balance. Because if you don't balance yourself out, Maya, your man will feel like you don't appreciate him. Your man will feel like you just want him to buy you love. Your man will feel like you're using him for money, okay? It will not make the other person, your man, feel good if the only way you receive love is through gift giving. It won't. And that will start to eat away at the relationship. Not only will he not feel like you are, that he can't show you love in a way you receive it, you also won't feel the love. And that will start to tear the two of you apart. You've got to speak each other's language. That's why it's called love language. So you've got to learn his, he's got to learn yours, but each of you need to round it out. That's going to be my advice for Maya. I'm really rooting for this couple. I'm really happy for this couple. I wanted to do a little bit more matchmaking from the other seasons. I wanted to see if I had time to matchmake a couple of other couples, but I don't. I got to go to work. I got to go to work today, even here on this Friday. I got to go in the office. So I'm not going to have time to do any matchmaking, but who knows? Maybe it's some time. If time finds its way to me, which doesn't seem like it's happening these days, I'll do a matchmaking video and see who else we can match up from the seasons. But if y'all got any ideas down in the chat on who you think we can match up from last season versus this season, since they're in proximity, drop your ideas down in the chat, and then maybe we'll talk about them in another video. But that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.